everybody, I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson, and you're listening to Dirt Sheet Mania, episode 22. Hello everybody, I am your Chief of Wrestling, Craig Anderson. Welcome to Dirt Sheet Mania episode 22. It's big time! And talking of big, it's our Director of Creativity, Kieran Smith. Hi, Mr. Big.
Thanks for that Sex and the City reference.
There you go. I'm glad you got that.
The only reason why I know it's a Sex and the City reference, I know a little, a little bit, but I never used to watch it.
I used to watch a TV show.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's an episode where the captain has to sit there and work out like what he knows about Sex and the City to distract a guard.
Yes, so, he does, and he has to learn.
Mr. Big isn't.
He talks to the security guard, doesn't he? Yeah, and are they nicking files, aren't they?
Yeah, they're nicking files for the FBI with Dennis Haysbert, the legend that played President Palmer in 24.
He did, so, and he was completely deadpan. Yeah, I'm not telling you a thing.
Yeah, those two are brilliant.
They were very good. Yeah. So this is episode 22, guys. We weren't here last week. Kieran's tooth was poorly. Yeah, I've had mine out. Kieran seems to refuse to have his out.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with you?
At some point, I will be getting
Get it out. Get it out. Yeah. Anyway, we are back. Raw and Smackdown. We are on the back of Extreme Rules. So, Extreme Rules, Kieran, for you, out of 10? Quickly.
Too long.
Very long.
I'd give it a 5, maybe.
Give it a 5.
4. It wasn't the best. It had good matches.
Too many matches.
Too many, and it was too long.
2 matches on the 1 hour pre-show.
Yeah.
One was a tables match.
So I think it was 12 matches in the end. Wasn't it? So
10 on the main show, 2 on the pre-show.
I just think I'll get dual branded. 4 hours is too long. Mm-hmm. When we get to SummerSlam, which is the next pay-per-view, 5 hours.
Well, for me, the big four don't feel as special anymore. I mean, WrestleMania will always feel like WrestleMania, but from what we also understand, come October, when they go down under to Australia, there's not going to be a pay-per-view. That'll be our monthly pay-per-view.
But the thing is, because of the spectacle of the MCG, potential 60, 70, 80, 90,000 potentially, maybe 100, I think. Mm-hmm.
Cricket ground, isn't it?
Yeah. It is quite a big cricket ground as well. Huge. That will feel like a big pay-per-view because of the arena they're holding it in.
It was 1 month before Survivor Series.
Yeah. And it's the only time once a year that Raw and SmackDown go against each other in head-to-head.
I didn't know that. So. That's incredible to find that information out so soon. The other thing is that I'm glad, actually. Okay, it's going to be weird, but I'm glad they're only doing one. Because how much did Backlash get screwed up by the Greatest Royal Rumble, or the Greatest Rumble get screwed up by Backlash? Yeah. Both pay-per-views were completely out of whack because of the draft as well. Yeah. You could kind of predict who was going to win, who was going to lose those matches.
See, we can talk about this at another time as well. But WWE are just doing far too much in terms of content.
Did you ever think you'd say that?
No, I get why they do it, because obviously they got money and they got contracts and
they've got a network to fill.
Yeah, but
205 Live, NXT, it's Ride Along.
These days, it's just like I'm not interested in getting up or staying up till 1 o'clock to watch Raw.
Right.
I'm not interested in staying up till 1 o'clock to watch SmackDown. I can watch SmackDown more because it's 2 hours and it flows better.
NXT is taped,
but I'd rather watch NXT. It's an hour long. I can catch it at my convenience.
NXT UK will be taped. The first tapings will be this weekend. Yeah. So that's another one. We haven't even touched on World of Sport. Yeah. I mean, we can maybe talk about that in the ramble.
But like last week, you got 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown,
that's 5,
an hour of NXT,
6,
an hour of 205 Live if you wanted to get there,
7,
and then you've got 4 hours of Extreme Rules plus a pre-show,
8, that's 9, 12. 10, 11, 12 hours of original unique content.
Right.
Plus
far too much.
Plus if there's a weekly ride along up on the network.
Now, how many times do you sit there and do watch you binge watch a TV show? So say you're going to sit there and watch Game of Thrones, right?
Oh yeah,
right. Game of Thrones.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. We've talked about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Why not?
Anything. How often do you get tired watching 12 hours of the same thing? You do at some point, even though it might be good and entertaining. Sometimes you need a break from it.
Things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine are 21 minutes long on Netflix. Yeah. 22 minutes long. So you can get into a storyline, like it, enjoy it, and then that episode finishes, and then you instantly have a fresh one. Yeah. They're small. Oh, yes. They're not hours and hours and hours long, and every single one is pretty much unique.
for me, I love the US Office, and I can sit there and watch that at work because it's easy.
Friends,
it's an easy watch.
Friends is the same.
Well, it's different. It's completely different to professional wrestling, to sports entertainment, obviously, because it's more of a show. But NXT flows better than SmackDown. SmackDown flows better than Raw, and I know they have to have a 3-hour Raw because of the contract.
It's advertised. All it is now. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the advertised Monday Night Raw, and we. In no particular order, so don't start screaming at us just because, that happened first, that happened. We're talking about it subject by subject, and we will start off with the Universal Championship situation. Kurt Angle, pretty much last Extreme Rules, made a statement saying that if Brock Lesnar doesn't show up to Monday Night Raw in any capacity, he will be stripped of the Universal title. Now, Kurt actually gave us 2 options but 3 scenarios, I think.
It was very weird, wasn't it?
But he kept repeating himself. Yeah. Do you want to try?
So he said so one of them was he's going to strip him of the Universal title.
That was it. That was
the last one.
If he doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Right, okay, easy.
And I think the first 2 was that either Brock Lesnar shows up or he declares himself available for a match at SummerSlam. Or the Universal title gets stripped. That's it. But but the way he said it was that it sounded like the first 2 options were together. So he had Brock had to show up to say, I want to wrestle at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but if he didn't, then we knew that would. Yeah, it was a bit it was a bit wrongly executed.
Yeah.
However, he didn't show up, but Paul Heyman did, and Paul Heyman declared on Brock. So that's kind of the second option.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So without Brock having to show up, Paul Heyman shows up and declares Brock available for SummerSlam. Kurt did actually, I mean, in my opinion, completely did strip Brock of that Universal title, but it wasn't just until Paul Heyman started, ladies and gentlemen, and that wasn't until Kurt got 3/4 of the way through stripping Brock of that title. Paul comes out, eventually they I say negotiate. Kurt basically tells Heyman with no certain terms he has to show up.
Yeah.
Brock is getting booed now. He's not there, but he's the name.
Well, there was a lot of cheering as well when Kurt declared that he was going to strip him of the title if he didn't turn up.
Yeah.
So I mean,
people are fed up now.
Oh yeah, I think you sort of see some interviews. Like I think Miz had an interview the other day that he was getting annoyed that the Universal Champion wasn't appearing on the
He's
show,
on Smackdown,
and it's just
that shows you how mad the roster is.
And it's look, in terms of a storyline, okay. Him not turning up, it's different. It's we need to applaud the different kind
uniqueness of the storyline. Sure,
like he's your number 1 champion on Raw.
SmackDown will always be better than Raw
because it has the WWE title.
Of course, the Universal title is a new title. The only proper champion, in my opinion, has only ever been Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Every week he's there. Poor Finn was injured, and Goldberg and Brock have both had on-off stints.
Goldberg was there for a month, and Brock had it for a year and a half, and defending it 5 times.
So there we go. Anyway, so
you could probably do that with a WWE title because it's had 50 WWE champions over a period of time. You could probably, but then again, why?
Brock did do that with the WWE title.
Yeah, but when he had the WWE title, he defended it.
Yes,
quite
slightly more regularly than
he does now. He wasn't defending every pay-per-view, but it was still...
Yeah.
At least he was defending it at the big...
But then, for me, I don't know. For me, that was worse because there was no Universal title.
No,
you just had the WWE Championship.
Exactly. But I just mean in terms of the prestige of the Universal title... I know it's meant to be the WWE title's equal, but it's not. Really? It's not. It never will be.
And that's because of the Universal title's disappearing acts.
Yeah.
The Houdini of world titles.
I mean, you can compare the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title.
You can compare the NWA title and the WWE title.
Because you've got the history.
You've got the lineage, yeah.
And so even though the World Heavyweight title was technically the second tier title towards the late 2010, 2011, 2012, and then they put them together, you still had the lineage. You still had former champions. You still had
Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes,
and Dusty Rhodes, and Harley Races, and Vaders and things like that. So
absolutely,
it all made sense.
So we move on. The reason now that Paul Heyman has said that Lesnar will wrestle at SummerSlam, which means now we need a number 1 contender.
Yeah.
Every Tom, Dick, and Harry wants a title shot, and I mean everyone. Everyone to the point where, if we remember from Sunday night, we had Extreme Rules. We had an Intercontinental title match, Kieran. Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Who won that match?
It was Dolph Ziggler.
It was Dolph Ziggler. Okay. Who's his manager? What was his bodyguard? So we say. Drew McIntyre. And who did he beat? Who did Dolph beat?
Seth Rollins.
So Seth lost.
Yeah.
and Drew was the manager. Well, Drew was the bodyguard.
Yeah.
Okay. Who entered themselves into this number one contender match?
Seth and Drew.
Seth and Drew. So the loser and the bodyguard. What happened to Dolph Ziggler on Raw, Kieran?
He ended up having a match with Bobby Roode.
He had a match with Bobby Roode.
Yeah.
Now, no disrespect to Bobby Roode. Again, please turn him heel. Please turn him heel. But why on earth wasn't Dolph in this Universal mix-up? Why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. He's not in it because he's in the Continental champ. He's technically the number one champ on Raw.
He is, yeah.
Agreed. But he's not in it because he's got the title, and at some point they're going to have someone face him at SummerSlam for the IC title, right?
But they should at least make an effort.
Exactly, but there's still 4 weeks of build left for SummerSlam. Why couldn't you have had him in one of these triple threat matches and have him lose?
Well,
or not having pins.
Because they're triple threat matches. Okay, so out of the 6 guys going into this, I'll read you off the list of people going in. So you've got Finn versus Roman versus Drew.
Right.
And then the winner of that will face the winner of Seth versus Bobby versus Elias.
So Finn beat Constable Corbin at Extreme Rules.
Careful. Yeah, he did.
And Drew, Bodyguard, and Roman Reigns lost to Lashley.
They did. And Elias
hasn't been doing anything.
Didn't do a thing. So
but,
apparently,
you can
losing and not doing anything.
But I can sort of maybe say, Elias, you give people a chance in these sort of things. If you're management, you want to give someone a chance. So Elias, I can justify
by a string thread.
Yeah.
So again, it you could easily have had safe. I mean, you don't even have to replace anyone. You could have added Dolph, and you could have added somebody else. You could have had 2 fatal 4-ways. You can have somebody in this match. If you had 2 fatal 4-ways, you could have Dolph and someone else, and then that person could cost Dolph the match. Neither of them win, and then Dolph's like, right, me and you, SummerSlam. You know, like, come on, like, let's think about this long term. You can still have your Intercontinental Champion involved in the main event picture, and then still have that tied into defending.
Why can, for example, say, so we have Finn, Dolph, and Roman Reigns. Nothing against Drew McIntyre, but
no. Sure.
Why couldn't Dolph be going for the pin on Roman Reigns after he's used the zigzag?
Yep.
Finn comes in and takes out Finn, stops the pin from coming.
Finn takes out Dolph,
the match, so to speak.
Not takes out.
But then Roman Reigns then beats Finn, right?
With a spear.
With the spear.
Which he did.
The match. So then you've then got a feud between Dolph and Finn for the IC title at SummerSlam.
Perfect.
Easy.
Perfect. You have set up your Intercontinental title picture via the Universal title.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody really loses.
Would you want to see Finn versus Dolph?
Yes, please.
Want to see it in another Iron Man match? Yes,
please. Yes, please.
But it's as simple as that sometimes.
So yeah, as I say, Finn, Roman, Drew, and Seth, Bobby, Elias. Finn, Roman, Drew went on first. 2 former ICW alumni here, so it was great to see them in this match versus Roman. Finn, I mean, considering those 2 guys are considerably bigger in stature, in build, you can just see how great of a worker Finn Balor is. He's superb, and for a long time,
I love seeing Drew and Roman next to each other. It's just
like brothers.
Yeah, but it's just something that you can see. I mean, I can see WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, I mean, Drew looks
with the right build.
He looks so perfect in these matches. He looks so perfect. I mean, I'm glad that he's getting these opportunities, and apparently he wanted to go back to NXT when he rejoined, which we're learning over the last few days, which just shows you how much, how less of an ego he has. Like, he's grounded, humble. Like I say, pleasure to have reffed him on one occasion and to have met him a couple of times, and he's, like I say, very, very down to earth, young man, considering where he's been and where he's come from. I think he'd be perfect as Universal Champion. Imagine him as Universal Champion. Yeah. Get off him. Good luck, mate.
He'd technically, even though he's Scottish, he'd technically be the first British WWE champion.
Well, yeah, exactly. That'd be so cool. Yeah. That'd be so cool. So Roman pins Finn in that match. So Drew gets off without being pinned, which I think is a little bit cool. Yeah, which is cool. And then Seth, Bobby, Elias. And Bobby wins. So we've got Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns next week on Raw for the number 1 contender to the Universal title. Kieran, who's going to win next week?
Unfortunately, it's going to be Reigns.
It's going to be Roman Reigns.
It's typical 50-50 booking. Lashley wins at a pay-per-view.
Which doesn't mean anything. Which did mean something.
Which should mean something, because if Reigns is calling himself the uncrowned Universal Champion, and you've pinned the uncrowned Universal Champion, technically you are the uncrowned Universal Champion.
It's like in football when if someone beats the Premier League champions, they then become the...
Well, that's what Scotland did all those years ago when England won the '66 World Cup. Scotland beat England in a friendly, so they were going around saying they were de facto world champions.
De facto, that's the word I'm looking
and
for.
It's like, well, don't work like that, but we get your point.
Yet Roman's still doing the same thing.
So Roman's doing the same thing now, so technically Bobby Lashley's the de facto Universal Champion.
Well, I'll tell you what is a I can't think of the word now. The wild card, there we go, is Mr. Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman. Now, he has said the second Brock Lesnar shows up, he's cashing in.
Yeah.
Now, between now and SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar will show up on Raw. Probably the Raw before.
He's definitely advertised for the one before. I think that's in Vegas.
Great.
I think they said that he's been advertised for that one.
So, Braun Strowman is going to have that Raw and SummerSlam to cash that opportunity to cash in. Now, he did say to Renee Young, while twistedly congratulating Kevin Owens for his victory at Extreme Rules, which was just brutal, by the way. If you've not seen that table spot, ouchie.
By the way, Kevin Owens does that spot absolutely perfectly. You see when you see him, when you see it in slow mo, you're like, wow, but you can see how it doesn't hurt. It's going to hurt anyway, but you can see how it doesn't hurt as much because he lands on it perfectly. He's twisting, shoulders are out, arms are out.
Just take two examples. Him and El Generico, who's now in Mexico looking after the orphans, bless him. Him and El Generico had two huge ladder matches, one in PWG, one in Ring of Honor, and they were both, especially the Ring of Honor one, was just absolutely brutal. Yeah. Absolutely brutal.
What I'd like to see, though, obviously we know Sami Zayn's out for a long period of time.
Yes.
But I think Kevin Owens could probably do a bit of downtime, come back in a couple of months after SummerSlam. Obviously he's going to be injured.
Maybe he'll face Dolph for the Intercontinental SummerSlam.
Maybe.
But
yeah,
it's unlikely.
Maybe Kevin could do with a few, not to say freshen up his character, but Kevin's been around constantly ever since.
I'm sure he would love. I mean, this Catch-22, it's very, very publicly known. Obviously, he has a young family, so he wants to see them as much as he can. But then also, you don't want to miss a beat. You don't when you're in that bubble. You don't want to miss anything.
Momentum is good, but right now,
not just being there.
Yeah, but right now he doesn't really have because Strowman took him out.
He said he's got 2-3 weeks off.
Yeah, and I think coming back after SummerSlam, or maybe around Australia, obviously the Australia tour for the pay-per-view, something like that. That just refresh, just freshen him up, get him ready, let him go into a feud down the line against a potential Universal Champion match, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley.
So here's one for you. I think. Okay, so two questions. One, when Braun cashes in, will he cash in at SummerSlam?
I'd like to see him cash in on Raw, right? I think they might do that because they might want the spike in ratings, like because ratings aren't doing that well. They're going.
So do you think he'll cash in the night after?
No, I think he might do what he says and cash in as soon as Brock's there. Yeah, Brock ends up having a match, and they end up having just a 5-minute barnstormer, just heavy hitting.
Because Brock,
like Goldberg Lesnar,
because Brock will be fresh.
Yeah,
and Braun doesn't care if Brock's been in a 30-minute match or walk to the ring.
Yeah, so all right. Let's take for example. I don't like the idea of Braun beating a beaten down Lesnar, but that's probably how it'll happen. Like Roman, it'll be Roman versus Lesnar at SummerSlam. Roman
so when he does cash in, do you think he'll win?
Yeah, I reckon it'll be a triple threat / fatal 4-way at SummerSlam.
So what
better way to get Braun, Lesnar, Reigns, and Lashley in a match?
To cash in.
To have fatal 4-way.
So for me, when he cashes in, does he win? Okay,
yeah, he has to win. He has to win.
I don't think he does.
No,
because I think the only way that Kevin Owens gets any redemption is costing Braun Strowman that world title.
Okay.
I mean, how else are you going to have it? How else can Kevin Owens get any? He has been beaten the absolute tar out of every opportunity. He's scared. He's running away. For him, for the next time we should see Kevin Owens, it should be costing Braun Strowman the world title. How brilliant would that be?
But having your last two men's Money in the Bank briefcase winners not win.
Just the way it is. Like I know. But Braun for me he will still be world heavyweight champion. He still will be. There's no question. No question. Absolutely dead set in. But he's so odds on to cash in and to win. How great would it be if it's just Kevin Owens takes it away from him?
Yeah. Yeah, is a potential. I mean,
we'll see.
I think there's also potential of actually Brock not losing this Universal title and actually doing what Heyman said and taking the title to the Octagon. I can't see Brock wearing the title in the Octagon.
Let's be fair, a not credible title in a real.
I mean, the only thing I can probably see is one of his like his well, I'm gonna say his crew, his ring, like his. The people, his entourage behind him, just holding the title up. I can't see
Heyman, maybe.
Yeah, I can't see Brock wanting to wear it.
No.
Like, I
don't think he would.
Brock would have to get paid a lot of money because I don't think Brock would want to look
cheap, fake,
stupid.
Not that I like the F word, but in this case, it's probably.
I'm not being funny. In a UFC fight, you want to look as legit as possible,
So,
but Daniel Cormier, the person he'll be facing, he does like WWE, so
maybe he'll think that's pretty cool. He'll want to beat the Universal Champion. He'll be like, I'm the young crown Universal Champion.
He'll probably show up and Raw after just before Mania and say, I want a match.
Best thing Vince and Dana could do is do business.
Yeah.
Best thing they could do. Anyway, we'll move away from the Universal title pitch because I actually want to talk to you about something incredibly serious. And I know me and you talking about something serious generally is challenging, but I do want to do that right now. It's the Sasha Banks and Bayley storyline. Now... They had a tag match on Raw together. There was no counselling segment this week.
Good.
And Dr. Shelby left again. Like, he wasn't there last week, was he? It was a lady. So for me, it loses some of its cred because no Dr. Shelby. They had a tag match against Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke.
Yep.
And it was a double count out.
Yeah, I think so. And Kurt said before this match that they had to do this match, otherwise I think Bayley gets traded to SmackDown, or one of them. I can't remember. It sounded like they were saying that Bayley would be getting traded to SmackDown, but I assume it was one of the two.
One of the two.
Because obviously it'd be up to Paige and Shane. What one of the two they
can't just say you're being traded. Yeah, of course. So they'd have to give someone over. Yeah. But in a moot point, they teamed. Sasha afterwards, there was a backstage segment between the two, and Sasha was like, "If anyone's going to beat you up, it's going to be me.
Yeah,
no one's beating you up." And then she completely turns the conversation on its head by telling Bayley she loves her.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you, I love you. I love you, Kieran.
All right, mate.
Exactly.
I love you too, Craig.
I wanted to hear the words back. And
don't go crying. Please write in your diary that I told you that.
Well, it's very sweet of you. Anyway, serious conversation.
Yeah, serious conversation.
Sasha told Bayley she loves her, and it's not like, for me, it's not like she said to her, "Look, Bayley, you're my best friend. I love you. I want us to be able to build our relationship back up again." She didn't kind of put anything round the words. She just said, "Look, I love you." And then there was a bit of a pause, and then she stormed off. Now, I've been wondering how this redemption can go. If they're not going to wrestle each other in a heel-face dynamic with one of them being the bad girl or whatever, how will this storyline and then winning the title, how will these two come to the end of this arc? And again, it's not just me, there's social media involved in this. It looks like that there is potentially a homosexual relationship on the cards. And I'm not sure if that's how it was meant to come across, or whether that's exactly how it was meant to come across.
I think if you were to show that footage to a non-wrestling fan who doesn't know what's going on, anything like that, I think that's the way it comes across. Now, we could be wrong.
Yeah, sure.
We could be very wrong. Mm-hmm. Well, social media could be very wrong.
Yep. We have been, but people are. But we are.
This next week, it could be, it could be different. They establish what she meant and everything like that. But and trying to compare it to other sort of TV shows where things like that have happened. Not so much in terms of two women or two men saying it to each other, but even just men and women or women and men saying it. When they say things like, I love you in that sort of way,
tone,
it gives the impression that they have feelings for them. They have more than feelings for them. They have, they want to be in a relationship.
I think if you're going to do it, these two are the perfect two.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Two more things I want to talk about. One is suspensions, which we'll get onto in a minute, but I do want to talk about the more rounded view of the Raw Women's Championship. So last night, 2 nights ago, Extreme Rules, Sasha, still talking about Sasha and Bayley. Alexa defended her title against Nia Jax in an Extreme Rules match. Ronda was at ringside. She beat the tar out of everyone that moved.
Yeah.
Natty was there as well.
Okay, so there's a few things here I want to quickly say.
So many people,
match, right? So Alexa, I'm all. I agree with the champ coming out last, but Alexa and Mickey should have come out first, because it didn't make sense to me why Nia brought Natalya out. Like, I think if you had Bliss bring out Mickey James, and then
Nia comes up and then waves.
But then
waves
exactly.
Natty
Makes more sense, right?
Okay. But you still, I mean, we've nitpicked on this before, where we think the champion has to come out second.
But there are certain scenarios where it shouldn't happen. But this is, for me, one of them.
I don't know if they could have had Nia come out and then Mickey and Alexa come out. But the thing is, though, you know that Mickey is going to come out with Alexa.
Yeah.
So why would...
I just think it, because I was like, when I saw Nia walk out of Natalya, I was like, oh, okay.
Because they've become closer because of... Natty is obviously on television Ronda's quote-unquote best friend.
Yeah.
Help train her, etc. And at the same time, because Ronda can't be there, Natty's almost Ronda's kind of representative, kind of in a way. So that's why she and Nia become close. So yeah, it's like it's a bit odd, but at the same time, that's why they're there. Anyway, so we get to Raw, and Alexa's shooting off her mouth saying, "I've beat every single woman back there. Oh, I know I haven't beat Ronda, but she's not there, it doesn't count." And then she kind of comes down the stairs. So she's in the arena, she's coming down the stairs, cuts them off at the ramp, hits Mickey with her... I'm not entirely sure what to call it, but it's almost like a fireman's carry into like a spinning slam.
Yeah,
it looks like it hurts.
Okay, so Ronda is... I'm trying to think of the word. She's obviously
strong.
She's strong. She's still. I'd still say she's green. She's obviously picked up a lot of the moves, a lot of things, but
her timing.
So
is
we
pretty
talk
good.
About Brock Lesnar sometimes doing his German suplexes, and it doesn't look like
Cena at SummerSlam.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he protects his opponent. He's what's the word? I'm looking for. Stiff, maybe. Yeah, possibly
heavy.
But
snug.
Yeah, it just... But
stop me when I'm there.
Oh, no, it's not any of those words.
Oh, great.
Get your dictionary out.
Thanks for coming, mate.
But Ronda, like that... Ronda seemed very... Like, she gave a lot of punishment to Mickey. She seemed very...
Mickey gets beat up most weeks.
Unsafe is not the word.
No. She's not unsafe.
It looked unsafe at times. Like, she was like...
But isn't that the good illusion?
Maybe she
I would say so.
Maybe Ronda's told Mickey, "I'm going to go at you, take it."
Maybe Mickey said, "I want you to kill me."
Yeah,
because the really it looks, the better. Like,
but it looks like that slam. It looks very sort of fast, and it looks very, very hard.
Because it starts off quite slow, and then it's sort of like 1, 2, 3, boom, and it's like
seen as AA,
but
there's no loop to it. It's a slam.
Yeah.
And, it's different. It's good. I think it works for her.
It's like a throw.
It might even be something.
It's maybe more of a throw, maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's like a judo throw.
Maybe it's just
modified for wrestling.
A Death Valley driver into a judo throw.
When she got Alexa back in the ring, which, by the way, when she jumps on top of the refs and Alexa and Mickey in the aisleway, it's fantastic. Yeah. I think I said to you earlier, the only 3 people that have been given permission, obviously permission, to attack or physically get involved with refs has been Ronda, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano. Yeah. They're the only 3 people in the last 10 years, maybe, that have touched officials, and it's been okay. Maybe Brock Lesnar did it once as well.
Yeah, there's probably a few out there, but there's nothing.
They're the ones, certainly in the last 2 or 3 months. And it's impactful because we haven't seen that happen for such a long time. So when she jumps over the refs to get to Mickey and Alexa, I loved it. When she got Alexa back in that ring, when you talk about looking real but not real, the way she lugs her around to get her arm ready. Yeah. And I know Alexa's obviously 5 foot fury. She's not much of her. But my God, she lugged her. Yeah. She absolutely lugged her. Like
we said when Ronda was getting signed, or she appeared at the Royal Rumble this year, that she'd had legitimacy to the sort of
like Brock had done,
and it does show like you got a legit badass there. You got a legit fighter there, and she's picked it up really well, and it's exciting. The crowd go wild for it.
They do.
You know, especially we were unsure about a WrestleMania match. We were unsure how she'd perform, but she proved a lot of people wrong. And right now she's
and that was with Stephanie.
Yeah,
that wasn't with a seasoned.
There was a lot of bells and whistles about that.
Of course there was. Of course there had to be.
But
she also did a lot of stuff for Triple H.
Yeah,
so
she showed during the Nia match that. You know that
she can sell.
She can sell.
She can sell.
Go, you know, and
if you want to learn how to sell, boys and girls, type into YouTube the best of Neymar diving, and you'll show how to sell a good ankle injury.
Or if you want to put it to wrestling, Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan, SummerSlam 2005.
Yeah, if you want to see how to oversell, watch Shawn Michaels make Hulk Hogan look way better than he was in that time of his life.
Yeah.
The one where he does the big boot. And then
he just spins around, don't he?
He falls over, jumps up, spins, and then he's still. That's the finish. Yeah. That's the fucking finish. Anyway, Ronda, perfect. Anyway, Kurt comes out. Let's get to Kurt. So there's a couple of times on the show, Kurt tonight, really involved in the running. He basically tells Ronda, "Look, go home. You're spent up on Wednesday. Like, just go home now." Corbin. Representative of Stephanie McMahon, not Constable Corbin, not happy, House of Parliament, and says, "Come on, Kurt, reprimand her. She can't just break, because breaking a suspension in any workplace is not really acceptable. Reprimand her, man. Come on." So he's like, "Look,
send her to therapy.
Send her to Jesus Christ, Dr. Shelby, Paige and Dr. Shelby." Send her to therapy. You need to be reprimanded. So he tagged another week onto her suspension, which Baron wasn't happy. Couldn't find his phone, which I thought wasn't very good for a constable to mislay his phone. In all of this drama and all of this serious of Raw from Monday, they still managed to find Curtis to do a funny line going, "He'll be looking for this." His just timing is great with that kind of stuff. And he said, "Look, go home. You've got a week extra on your suspension. You're going to miss Raw next week, but then that's it. She's back. And you got a match with Alexa Bliss. Oh, and it's for the Raw Women's title. Oh, and it's at SummerSlam."
Yeah.
Oh, all right then. Quite looking forward to that one.
Obviously, if she comes back in the next week, she loses her title.
That's the stipulation. And whether Corbin will end up getting his way a little bit, and maybe another week will be tagged on top of that.
I saw an Instagram post earlier of Ronda Rousey appearing in the new Jack Ryan TV series on Amazon. So I think I don't know. I think it might be a special one-off episode. Sort of appearance,
she's filming then.
So that potentially might be why she's not technically here next week. But
so. Was that live or taped?
So she
already done it then? Maybe she might have already
done it. She might be doing a follow-up thing. She's got a movie that's coming out. Obviously, the movie that she was doing at the Royal Rumble time. What's it called? Mile 22.
Sure.
Sure. The one that they advertised at the UK show.
Oh yes, of course.
I think that's actually out around SummerSlam. So maybe she's doing a few.
So that'd be cool. But last point on Raw that I want to make. Or just a conversation I want to have with you, is the topic of people being suspended but still showing up.
Yeah.
So Ronda has shown up twice in a suspension. Granted, one was as a fan, so she was there, but she wasn't over the barrier. Then she jumped over the barrier, so that was sort of done slightly differently.
Yeah.
And then the other one was she just walked straight down and whooped some ass. Now, the people that are always suspended but never miss a week, Cena and Reigns. Reigns before WrestleMania, and Cena, well, count your times. There's 6 or 7 different times that Cena's been suspended and still not missed a Raw.
Yeah.
Or been fired even and not missed a Raw. How do you feel? Do you feel the Ronda one is the same? But because it's done in the women's division, it's a bit fresher, so it's not so, oh yeah, you're suspended. You're going to miss all the weeks when she's there every week. How have you felt the way that they've handled the Ronda suspension?
Ronda's suspended from Raw, so her turning up into it.
She's suspended.
No, she's suspended from Raw. Her turning up to Extreme Rules.
So why did she get reprimanded at Raw then? Oh gosh, she's done it at Extreme Rules then.
Well, she turned up at Extreme Rules, but Extreme Rules is a dual branded pay-per-view, so that's what she could have been invited there.
Well, she had a ticket.
But she might have got a ticket from someone on Smackdown. Right, potentially. There's your loop.
From Shayna Baszler.
Maybe.
Next too. Okay, I say okay.
Look, I get the suspension thing. At times it works. And it works really well. Like I like times where a suspension works, and take CM Punk, right? He probably got suspended or he didn't. I can't remember. But say if he got suspended, but then he was still on Raw every week, but he was outside the arena and he was getting people to come in, and he was basically revolting against the establishment, right?
You know, is it 7 years since his Chicago Money in the Bank pay-per-view win?
Yeah.
It's such a long time. 7 years. I remember watching that.
Yeah, exactly.
But
things like that, I think, work if you want to keep him on TV every week.
But not physically have them.
John Cena, when he lost his job.
Which time?
Nexus.
Oh, was he the ref?
Yeah.
Like Randy versus Wade?
He had to make Wade win, and he didn't, so that's why he lost his job. But he still appeared on Raw every week because he was attacking the Nexus from backstage.
He's picking them off one by one.
So I think it works to a degree, right? But I think sometimes you're doing the suspension for like the anti-authority angle, or like to go against the establishment. I think that's where it works. I think sometimes it doesn't work because, like you're saying, if you do it too many times, the suspension doesn't mean anything.
Oh, the last time they did it was Rome before Mania.
It's like when someone goes, "Well, we'll fine you $250,000." Why? Right? Does that really matter to us? $250,000 half of us don't see in a fucking lifetime,
right?
You know. So,
and as fans, how will that affect the storyline?
How does that affect us?
Losing a title shot,
Yeah,
losing your belt,
that's your jeopardy.
Being drafted to another show, This is physically things we can see in front of us. This isn't made up money for a made up character on a television show.
Yeah.
Come on, guys! Like, I know it's wrestling, but like it doesn't make any sense. But so Ronda showing up for me. I mean, for me, okay, the pay-per-view I get. Raw last night, I guess she had to be there to get her title shot for Kurt to announce that.
In terms of the suspension, that was meant to be her. No, she was meant to be suspended till Wednesday, but there's nothing stopping her from turning up, having a meeting. Because you look at WWE schedule, they don't see, they don't meet, they're not together on a Wednesday. No. So they'd have a meeting. She technically, in a real life workplace, would have a meeting to say, right, you'll be back to work on
Welcome
Wednesday.
back to work meeting.
This is what needs to happen.
And
this is what we need to
she didn't. She has missed 3 Raws, but she was on a Raw last week because she had a sit down with Renee to say she'd be at Money in at Extreme Rules. So that's an out the box way of doing it. Have a taped, pre-recorded interview, pop it in the show. That's fine.
Yes, but that's what the point is. Like, why is she sitting down with Renee to have an interview at that point to say should she not have done that on Twitter? Why is she having an interview with a WWE employed personnel? Why is she suspended?
Well, she's suspended from Raw,
but she shouldn't. She shouldn't have it with a WWE
employee.
Yeah, like she should have done Twitter, the old Smackdown thing. Hold up, yep, I'm going to be extreme.
That's just on Smackdown, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a Smackdown thing.
But okay, no, it's
but that's how it should have been done. Like
a bit more, no pun intended, but a bit more raw.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, cool. Well, I like that. Well, that kind of brings our Smackdown, our Monday Night Raw highlights to a close. We're going to move on swiftly to the blue brand of Smackdown Live. Welcome back to Smackdown Live. It's Dirty Mania here, the chief and the director. I'm going to chew over Smackdown now. Personally, it's not happened very often, but I thought Raw was better than Smackdown.
I still maintain SmackDown's better than Raw no matter what.
Smackdown is better than Raw.
It just flows so much easier.
It's because of that. We've said it before. We've said it again. It's that time constraints and those time allowances. In no particular order, Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy rematch for the United States title that Nakamura won in a record time at the pay-per-view. Thank God he won a pay-per-view match.
Well, thank God for you.
Because I picked Nakamura.
How well did we do in our predictions, by the way? This is a stupid time to ask a stupid question.
It is a stupid time to ask a stupid question.
I can't. I don't even.
I am in the process of tottling them up.
Yeah.
Because I need to check a couple of things.
I recken we're about even.
I don't think so.
But you did go Shinsuke 4 times in a row, 4 times in a row, so I know I've got 4 points.
I have said Shinsuke Nakamura since WrestleMania. And then I went him on the Greatest Rumble, and then I said him again, Backlash, and then I said him again at Extreme Rules. So I've said him consistently. Because I knew at one point I couldn't be wrong.
What was the last pay-per-view? Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's it.
And I said him again then, and he lost again. Yeah. Or was it double?
Yeah, we've got to work out double count.
Double count, which is no contests. Yeah. That will take me a good day and a half to figure all that out. So I'm sure an update soon.
Hurry up, Craig.
Thank you, Kieran.
Stop doing your real job and do this.
Stop teaching people how to live. And to swim.
I had to swim. Had to live is a bit sort of like
life skill.
Like, you know, you'd be like DDP from 2000.
Oh,
WCW.
Really?
Positively, can you?
I don't think we've got enough time to talk about this. Randy Orton, he returned as Extreme Rules.
Yes.
And he, again, on SmackDown, cost Jeff Hardy the United States title. He had it done. Twist of Fate, bang, Swanton, bang, 1, 2, pull out. What? Disqualification.
It's good to see that wrestlers are starting to be obsessed with people's genitals.
What, low blow?
It's just, what's the thing? I mean, why wasn't this done sooner? The genitals are a place which is extremely hurt when you get punched in them,
especially
kicked in them,
the gentleman,
a ball punted at them.
Ugh.
You know,
man getting kicked in groin.
But you know, you do it every match.
Why does Randy Orton have an obsession with Jeff Hardy?
I don't know. Didn't they have a match? No, when Jeff Hardy came to SmackDown. Randy Orton, that's why.
They had a little one-upsmanship thing when
and then
Randy was US champion.
He was US champion at Mania, but then Jinder won it.
And then Jeff beat Jinder on Raw. But then Jeff came to SmackDown.
Then,
now,
I think Randy was meant to face Shelton, but Jeff Hardy come out.
But they did the same thing the other week.
And then they said, so I think it's something to do with that.
So it's something he's probably still ticked off.
Yeah.
And that Randy disappeared for about a month.
And maybe because Jeff is sort of going down this Brother Nero route, so to speak. He did say sort of broken and obsolete. He did tie into some sort of broken universe thing. And maybe because Randy Orton used to be in the Wyatt family. And then maybe Randy's now fighting for Sister Abigail. So you've just got the same storyline on SmackDown between two different people, and then these two are going to end up in a tag team.
You know what? If you look at actually, just take a step back and you look at all the members or the ex-members of the Wyatts: Randy, Brian, Bray, Braun, Eric Rowan, Luke Harper. I tell you what, if you ever decided just to get all of them together one day, you know you got a super group on your hands, like a mega super group. Don't think it'll ever happen. No, fantasy booking, but hey ho, what a boo. Yeah, I don't think that's going on with Randy. He has the voices in his head, though. He does have those.
But he's a heel. Well, he's a heel. That's
like him so much better as a heel.
He's better as a heel. He seems more invigorated when he's a heel. He seems like he loves it more.
Are him and Nakamura together? Because the only reason I say this, and I don't think they are, but when he was setting up Jeff to do the DDT off the table, he did yell, "Nakamura! Where's Nax? Where's Shin?" He looked around, and the camera didn't cut to Nakamura at that specific point in time. It was another sort of 10 to 15 seconds before he went to the ramp to where he was.
Look, so we can say he's a heel, but he could be like there's a lot of people that cheer Randy when he's a heel. There's a lot of people that are cheering Shinsuke now that he's a heel. So it still technically will be a heel versus heel match between the two. Maybe it's a triple threat.
Well, Jeff. I think a SummerSlam triple threat match for the US title is probably on the cards, because I don't see the reasoning and the logic in not having the US title in that picture.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a great match. Nakamura, Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, given time, if they've got time, if they don't stick 16 matches on at SummerSlam.
Hopefully not. Pre-show,
possibly.
Andrade Cien Almas has been from going from NXT champion, which again we have to remind ourselves is developmental. Yeah. No matter how amazing it is and how much we love it, it's still, we have to kind of bring ourselves back down to earth. He's not done he's beat Sin Cara on Extreme Rules pre-show.
It took a long time for him to debut after he got traded.
Same with Sanity, really. Yeah. I mean, that's just there's no room on the time on the schedule.
He's had a mini feud with Sin Cara. I think that's maybe just to familiarise himself with the main roster of the show and everything like that. Obviously, Sin Cara, he's not done much since his old, even as the second iteration of Sin Cara sort of thing. He's obviously just there. He's a Spanish-speaking person to help the Spanish-speaking people that are coming up. He's
a solid worker as well.
Solid worker.
You can trust.
You
can trust it.
Perfect first sort of feud to come up on the main roster. No, he had a match against AJ, and that was pretty much to show this is what I can do.
But I tell you what, it wasn't a case of right. You're going to wrestle AJ. It's going to be 7 minutes. You're going to get some stuff in, but AJ's going to beat you. It was really close 3 counts for Almas. To the point where I'm there's no way he's surprised that it was that late.
See, there's still I still think they're still looking for that sort of next sort of Latino sort of superstar.
I think
because they thought Del Rio could be that. Obviously, it was Rey Mysterio left. Ever since then, there's been a hole. So maybe they think they can that Almas will be that guy.
Since Selena Vega's been part of his brand, if we like, he has looked just completely flipped that switch, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, from going from a face to a heel for starters, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming, because at the time he wasn't a beloved baby face, but he was certainly.
Also got to remember that 100 is better than 10.
What? And
that's what Lita said.
Yeah, 100 is better than 10. Thanks for that, Lita. Just to clarify, was that a pre-show? Or was that pre-show? Yeah. He doesn't, obviously. AJ wins, but again, a very, very competitive match, and a very good outing and a very good showing from Almas. We know what he can do. You know what I mean? We watch.
I think SmackDown do this very well, and we'll talk about Becky Lynch later. But I still think even sort of the Becky Lynch matches, it still looks like a competitive affair. That they can someone could still beat Becky.
Well, let's talk about Becky now. Becky is in a scenario herself where she hasn't been beaten for about 2 months on SmackDown. She's beaten everyone. She beat Charlotte.
Yeah.
She beat on SmackDown. She beat Mandy Rose. She beat Sonya Deville. She's gone through
both of the Iconics, I think.
Both of them now.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, and for me, she is an uncrowned number one contender to Carmella's title. Carmella beat again Asuka at Extreme Rules. Don't know what to say about that, to be honest.
The Asuka things. Like,
who better than Asuka? Well, Carmella twice, apparently.
Yeah, it's just
Charlotte beating her at WrestleMania. Okay,
I get that. It's fine.
Well in. But
start a new streak. It's not hard.
One was a spin kick.
Yeah.
The one being pushed into a cage, I would have bought that. I'd have bought that a little bit more, because you're being pushed into a metal object.
Yeah.
You know, I buy that. But because it was the second beating, I'm just like, oh, this is what they're gonna do, isn't it? So, but for me, Becky Carmella at SummerSlam, I think she deserves it. Now, whether you think, but what about Charlotte? She'll be back in time. What about Asuka? Well,
Charlotte's due back at the end of July, I think. She said, obviously she's had a few problems.
So she'll be back in time
so she'll be back in time for SummerSlam. Whether she gets added to this at some point, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Becky's been on a roll as of late, and we were talking about for a while that maybe they need to turn Becky heel because they're not doing anything.
Yes,
but this is another way to do it. Just stand, have a few matches on SmackDown, just win, and then an incredible opponent.
100% agree. You do something, and if they're not going to turn a heel, they've pushed her. They've pushed her hard, which is great. Another thing two more things we can see from SmackDown is that the New Day and the Insanity clearly not finished as of yet. I have a feeling we will see a version of a 6-man, whether it's another gimmick match, whether it's a standard 6-man tag, whether it could be elimination tag. I'd quite like to see that. You know, I know Survivor Series is a few months away, but a 3-on-3 elimination match would be something that I would be.
It could be a 6-man street fight in where's SummerSlam?
Is it New York?
Yes, it'll be New York because it's Brooklyn for NXT, so it'll be a Brooklyn street fight.
There you go.
And it actually fight it out in the streets for once.
Go out past the arena, past
it makes
the doors.
sense. Sanity's like anarchy, and they show all these like graffiti on street walls and things like that. Just find a dark alley, rent it out for the night, just have them beating each other up, throwing each other into dumpsters and
unicorns
and things like that. Yeah.
Hell, why not?
Brooklyn street.
An actual
street
Brooklyn
fight.
Street fight. Why not? But yeah, on this occasion, Kofi does beat Eric Young in singles contest. Again, great chemistry between both 6-man teams. The Miz had a funeral for Team Hell No. I get why, I do, but it was like funerals for me. Like the only funerals I can recall off the top of my head for people. Rock had one for Stone Cold when he pushed him off the bridge. One had Eric Bischoff had a ECW funeral.
Yeah.
You think of any? No, but they're big things.
Yeah.
Like Team Hell No been back for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Seemed I mean, if he had just said, "I'm having a funeral for Daniel Bryan's career," I could have maybe bought that.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so apparently Kane damaged his Achilles tendon.
Hence the
on
angle.
SmackDown last week. So that's why he had his foot
in a boot,
crushed in a door on at Extreme Rules. There's a point that I raised to you the other day. I think it was Monday. I was like, so Braun Strowman had to find a partner to get a tag team title shot. Now Daniel Bryan started this match by himself.
Yeah,
Where's the sense in that?
Yeah, well, at least
he had to find a partner to take place in a tag team match, a tag team title match.
Okay, that I wasn't when you sent that to me. I was like, okay, I'm still half asleep, and I think Kieran is too, because that doesn't make any sense. But what you've just said makes complete sense. Yeah. We'll always pick faults in the continuity and storylines.
Just continuity. It's annoying, isn't it?
It could have been Shane.
It could have been
Shane and Brian. That'd have been pretty cool.
No.
No. Okay. So.
You could have picked Samoa Joe, and then you've got Brian versus Joe because of dissension in the ranks. There you go. Get me on the staff. There's
SummerSlam sorted.
There's all these people that are writing for WWE. They're sitting in their Hollywood homes and things like that, and I'm doing it from a little town.
If you're listening, Sir, Mr. McMahon, Sir, Mr. Vince, Sir Vince,
I'll tickle your grapefruits.
There you go.
For a job,
champion. There we go. Thanks for that. I'm so glad you have a girlfriend now, because otherwise I'd be concerned.
Don't bother me.
I'd be concerned.
If Vince has big grapefruits, then they need to be tickled every now.
But the Miz does. Fuck's sake! But the Miz does have a funeral for Team Hell No. I can't even think straight now. And I think we see Brian versus Miz at SummerSlam now. Brian does
potentially looks that way. Yeah.
Jump. He does jump the Miz and gets his.
They're saying there's still 4 weeks of build up to this. We've been waiting for it. It's
4 weeks.
Yeah.
A year?
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of now, the actual the comeuppance of this feud.
Well, I think I saw something pop up on YouTube. Was the rant about a year ago?
No, I think it was longer than that. It's 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Really?
Yeah, it must have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was.
But the technically that feud all the way lasts back from the first season of NXT. So,
where Miz was Brian's mentor.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know what they called it. Pro?
Yeah, it was pro. Yeah,
pro, maybe.
So, but yeah, look, if it looks like they're going with SummerSlam, there's a lot of rumours coming out now that Brian's signed his contract.
Really?
So, there's no official word on that, but I don't think WWE like to make official statements on contracts unless it's for their high sort of, like for Brock Lesnar. Obviously, he'd make a. I
think if Brian has officially 100% signed, I think they would definitely say that, would they not?
Potentially, but like Kevin Owens signed a new 5-year deal and that was only sort of just leaked out. It wasn't an official WWE statement. So I say for someone like Brock Lesnar, I can get the way they do that. Ronda Rousey, obviously, because it's big mainstream
marquee
news. But Daniel Bryan, I don't think they'll be an official. But we'll find out if he's still wrestling come September. So
the clue will be in the in that if that happens or not. And the last thing, I mean, I know it seems like this is it now. We'll talk SmackDown's our last point, because SmackDown is a quicker, snappier show.
Yeah.
Aiden English was apologising to Lana. No Rusev on SmackDown. This isn't a backstage
Lana,
segment.
who's like nearly devoid of a Russian accent, except for the ending points of her sentence.
Rusev!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she's definitely from California now, isn't
she?
Just
drop the accent.
It's at least it's been slightly more tactful than Kofi's loss of his Jamaican accent. Yeah.
If you live in a country for a certain amount of time, you're gonna be picking up an accent. My uncle, right, he was down south for 35, 40 years, and he moved up north around Burnley sort of area.
Oh yeah.
He's got
he's
got a thick Burnley bloody accent now, and he's been there for 3-4 years. So
how long?
3 or 4 years.
Is that it?
Might have been longer.
When I lived in Leeds, did I ever come back with a twang?
No.
Well, there you go.
But some people do pick up an accent. So
one thing I did.
There's your reasoning behind Lana. She's been in America now for 4 years, probably.
In kayfabe.
Yeah, and she lives in Florida, I think, possibly.
With Rusev.
So she can pick up a bit of a Florida twang.
And Rusev, who does the gardening in just shorts.
Yeah.
Who does what a beautiful man. He apologises in English to Lana, who's sporting her lovely Lana Day t-shirt, bandwagon hook attached.
I was making sure that it was a Lana Day t-shirt.
It was a blue.
I had to visibly look.
You had to have a good close look.
Yeah, good close look. For
good boy.
A couple of minutes just to make sure. It was
good boy. Don't be too thorough. Did Lana really? I don't know. Did Lana really? I can't remember Lana even say anything back to English.
She did. I think she said, she said maybe it's time for that you're not part of us, and then sort of Rusev English sort of pleaded saying, I done it for the good of Rusev.
Of course.
So
for me,
and he hopes that Rusev can, and I like this, but I hope they don't split them up.
I was gonna say, like, for me, there's no logic behind splitting them up.
English enhances Rusev because of like
singing.
He's like his lackey is singing. He does part of the entrance. His Rusev Day and things like that. Lana enhances Rusev because it's Lana Crush and it's his wife and everything like that. And Rusev enhances both of them because Rusev has the crowd behind
the credibility.
Now, if you take one of them away,
anyway, look how much did Rusev slip down when him and Lana separated?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah. Both
of them looked weaker on their own. Hence why they're back together on television.
Now, if Rusev was to beat down on English and they split up, I don't think that elevates English. I can't see English being in 6 months' time in the United States title picture. I don't think enough fans will be behind Rusev because he'd then be the baby. English will be enough fans will be behind Aiden English because he'd be the baby face.
Unless they did do that English and Elias gimmick.
Potentially.
Because, I mean, who would have thought that the B team...
traded to do that.
He would. But who would have thought the B team would be Raw Tag Team Champions? Yeah. Realistically, I thought, if Miz is going to SmackDown, these two are going to slide down and they're going to be about around the same level as Titus Worldwide and the Ascension again. Yeah. And they're not. They're Raw Tag Team Champions. So we can never foreshadow. I hope they don't split up because I think there's so much more this team can give.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd love to see them
up sometime in the future, but I just think right now it's just not the right time.
They won't be going on a New Day kind of run, but it's much better. I mean, I think if you asked Aiden English and you said, "Look, honestly, mate, would you rather still be with Simon Gotch or are you happy doing this?" I think he'd say, "Look, I love tagging with Simon Gotch. I think we had good chemistry. And clearly, the Von Villains were a team cut short, maybe I think, but this is better. Yeah. This is better." So that is SmackDown Live. That is Dirtmania episode 22, and the WrestleMania 22 tagline was
big time.
Big time.
It's pretty much that was it. It was like big time.
It would like go. I
think it had one of the weirdest posters of all time as well. I think it just had Booker T on the WrestleMania poster.
Was that Booker T Boogeyman?
Yeah, but I think it just had a picture of Booker T on the poster. It wasn't like these posters that you have all these days with like Cena and Roman Reigns at the front with Undertaker.
Really? Did it not?
I'm pretty sure one of these posters.
Check it out.
I think it's 22. Like I said 22 and 23. I always get confused about in my head, even though one's in an arena, one's in a.
Because the logos are the exact same, and there's a lot of very generic, looky-likey people.
But you did have a good match between Triple H and Cena at this pay-per-view, so
main event
22. Yeah,
main event
with CM Punk there. As one of the
he was one of the
thingy people,
the suit guys. He was in a suit. Tommy gun.
That's
the word I'm looking for. He had a Tommy gun. So that's the first time you see CM Punk on WWE television.
I don't know if you also saw that Ciampa put up a picture of him in the ring with Taker I think it was about 13 years ago when Ciampa had curly hair.
Was he a lawyer?
Yeah, he was like a
lawyer sort of thing.
Yes. It's very weird.
Bobby Roode being a cop in like 99 or whatever for Triple H.
Love those little things.
That's hilarious.
Like MVP was holding Kurt Angle's medals once.
Was as a cop?
Yeah,
as a cop. Yeah.
He's been in prison.
Was that ironic?
Yeah.
That when he lost to Eugene in the gold medal challenge, I think maybe that was cool. Okay, I remember that. I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
There's I'm sure if you searched it on YouTube, there'll be a few there.
So. There are tons. There's people being. Who was the tall guy from Tough Enough with the frizzy curly hair?
Oh yeah,
he was a run-in.
Yeah.
He was a security.
I can't remember his name.
It's not
Eric Watts.
Eric Watts. Yeah. Yes. And multiple people have been Rosebuds.
Yeah.
And I suppose some have also been part of
Braun Strowman was a Rosebud.
He was.
Becky Lynch was a Rosebud.
Chris Sharp, referee, sort of friend of mine. He was a rose. He was was he a hot dog? I think he was the hot dog.
Yeah.
So so many random. Dave Mastiff. He was a Rosebud.
Yeah.
He was a leprechaun. Like Christ. Like he looks nothing but a vicious bastard.
Talking of leprechauns,
God,
Killian Dane's lost a bit of weight.
He has.
I don't know if he looks good. I quite liked him as a big sort of fat bastard. That I'm not going to call him that. I'm sorry, but
I'll tell him.
Yeah, please let him squash me. But no, he lost weight and he looks good. I don't know why he's still wearing the t-shirt over the top. I don't get that, but like,
he's physically.
Kieran Dane is ridiculous. Like, and I just think why?
I tell you what,
he looks trim. But
somewhere down the line, there's a Dave Mastiff Kieran Dane match.
Yeah,
like wow, talk about bulldozers.
Like, it'll be a match in NXT UK. It's just like
I think he should be
invitation or something like that. Just an
Dave Mastiff saying, anyone from the United Kingdom needs to come and challenge me. Hello. I know he's from Northern Ireland, which but yes, I think Kieran Dane versus Dave.
There will be some. Like I saying this, I think
Nikki Cross.
We said at NXT UK there will be a few of the higher end UK talent.
Noam Dar, Mark Andrews,
coming over to the show to help promote it to be in a match, like they did with like Cena. On NXT. Christian. There was the Jericho was there. Loads of people sort of went there, didn't they? So they'll do that to help that along.
Yes, excellent. Right, that's us for this week. Dirt Shit Mania episode 22. We are going to go and talk about our Royal Ramble now. We are going to talk about the reinstatement of Hulk Hogan. So don't miss that. Check it out. And it's a very good chance as well. If you want to hear a slightly more in-depth conversation on the Bayley Sasha Banks storyline, also check that out. We're going to be posting that as a separate entity with a slightly longer chat. What do you think, Kieran?
Yeah, sounds good to me, mate.
Great input. The director of creativity, he creates so I can procrastinate. Kieran, God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. There's no World Cup. There's no nothing. What do we say?
No more Diddy Diddy?
No. Diddy Diddy's a bit old now, mate.
It is a bit, isn't it? Just like us.
Thanks.
So guys, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of Dirt Shit Mania. This is episode 22. We will see you next week. Tally ho!
Big time!